So when I was younger, the internet wasn't really a thing. There was no YouTube. There was no website with loads of free guitar tabs and chords. There was no online communities like Patreon and Instagram. So where did I get all of my guitar content from? That's right, I bought all 5,000 of them. Well, not me exactly. I guess any spare money I did have would probably go on sweets and Buffy posters. Every Saturday, my whole family would go to my grandparents on my dad's side. And without fail, my granddad, I call him Larry, I'm sure you can imagine why, but without fail, at about 5:30 on a Saturday, he would go to the local corner shop and he would get everyone's lottery ticket. He'd get a small feast of sweets for all the grandkids. And most importantly to me, he would get me a guitar magazine. I never asked for a specific one. He would just get me whatever he thought looked good, and he's got a great music taste. He did this for all of us for years, and it's madness when I look back. But the most special thing is that with every magazine he bought me, without saying anything, he was basically saying, I believe in you. Sky's the limit, just play. These magazines were inspiring. It felt like I was stepping into what seemed like an untouchable world. Every issue was a discovery. There was interviews with famous musicians, full songs, riff of the week, gear reviews, events listings, there'd be CDs with backing tracks. The first ever magazine series that I got was called Play Guitar. Do you remember it? There were 39 issues and they all came with like a little red CD. I remember lending out a couple of issues to friends at the time. It's not like me, that, but I lent out a couple of issues to friends, and when I asked for them back, I got the usual story, oh, I don't know where they are, sorry, my mum must have moved them. Lo and behold, my mum's clearing out the loft, 20 odd years later, and she sends me up my collection of magazines. Found these in the loft. Oh, great, nostalgia, flicking through. 2 issues down. Devastated. So, took to eBay, didn't I? Can't be having that. And found a guy who was selling every single issue, just one of each one, individually. What was I missing? Now, after that Play Guitar magazine series ended, my granddad, as I mentioned, would just get me Total Guitar, Guitarist, and a couple of others, and he'd kind of do it on a rotation. It was amazing. I remember the excitement of opening each issue and just flicking through to see what was going on. But again, why am I talking about all this? Well, that's because I think when you're learning an instrument, it is so important to have that person, that friend, that mentor, family, but that person in your life to champion you, the one who encourages you, believes in you every step of the way. Sky's the limit mentality. Someone like my granddad, who bought me a guitar magazine every week, or would drive me to my guitar lessons on a Monday night after school.
I swear I'm going as fast as I can. What can I do?
Or my mum, who could have thrown all those magazines away after I moved out, but she didn't. She kept them because she knew how special they were and how they've made me who I am today. Support might not even be something as obvious as verbal encouragement or good old-fashioned pat on the back. No, it might just be a smile or your friends and family turning up to your first gigs. Most importantly, it's not just one-off support, it's constant. So as my little sign-off gift to you, here is a cool little exercise that I dug out of one of my old magazines, and we're going to go through it together. So I was actually flicking through this issue of Total Guitar magazine. It's from June 2006, can you believe that? It's a long time ago. Who remembers Paul Gilbert's School of Shred? I do. It was well hard. Barely graduated. Paul Gilbert is a phenomenal guitarist. Just when you think you've done everything you could possibly do, in the pentatonic minor scale, he'll be like, nope, here's 5,000 other patterns that I came up with this morning. Get to it. So for this lick, we're going to need to know the B pentatonic minor scale. It's going to be an 8-note pattern over 2 strings using hammer-ons, pull-offs, some picked notes, and it's just going to repeat descending through the full scale. So we start with our pinky on the 10th fret of the E string, the note D. That would technically be from the next octave of the scale because it comes after the root note on the E string. But yeah, we pull that 10 off to the 7. Then we hit the 10 on the B with the pinky. And then hammer the 7 on the E back to the 10. I like to go down, down, up with my picking. Now we come to the 7th fret of the B string with the index finger and we hammer on to the 10 with the pinky. Then we hit one final upstroke on the 7th fret of the high E. Finishing with that upstroke on the 7th fret of the E, that means when we come to start the pattern again, we've reset to the down that we started on. And to complete the pattern, you just move that down a string each time. So the next one would start from the 10th fret of the B, pull off. Now we have to hit the 9th fret of the G with the 3rd finger. But the same again, hammer on, finishing on the 7th fret of the B this time. And it's cool because we're descending down a scale, but there's parts of it that go back up as well, which is what gives it that kind of really cool, unique sound. So then obviously just take that pattern and repeat it moving down that scale. The last phrase is a little bit tricky because we finish on the 7th fret of the A and then have to hop over to the 7th fret of the E, the B root note. And that jump can be a little bit clunky. One thing you can do here to help you with that little change is use the pad of the finger to play the 7th fret of the A. And then as you lift that up and use the tip of the finger to play the 7th fret of the E, it should mute the A string and give you a nice clear B note. You can see the finger kind of roll and tilt up there. The other thing you could do is play the 9 on the A instead of the 7. So then you go in perfect 5th to root note just at the end. And then the other thing you could do is a very quick hammer on from the 7th fret of the A to the 9. And that'll just round things off a lot easier on the fingers. All in all, you should have this now. And it's really cool because you can practice moving that around in different keys. Let's take it up to D. Up to E. You're here learning an incredible instrument that could open doors beyond your wildest dreams, or they could just give you a mini holiday, some relief from the daily grind, take you off to that special place where you play the music you love. So whatever guitar means to you, putting in that constant time and effort is something to be really proud of. Seriously.